Welcome back. It is the last Sunday in October. It's Halloween.
Yep. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. We didn't prepare for this, so there's nothing spooky going on over here.
You have a pumpkin.
I do have. It's a leopard print pumpkin.
You've had it on all month, though.
All month, though. And we're going to wrap up our topic on integrity.
Yep.
Subtopic being parents and friendships. Being parents and friendships. And the Bible verses we have for this week are Proverbs 27. 20 verse 7. I know. When I said it, I was like, so Proverbs 20 verse 7. The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him.
Yep. And then 2 Corinthians 8:21, and it says, for we aim at what is honorable, not only in the Lord's sight, but also in the sight of man.
Yep. Thinking of integrity and being parents, growing up, like the old famous saying of do what I say and not as I do is like, I mean, I think I heard that a lot in his lifetime than I did, but you know, it always bothered me because I'm like, wait, like that's so backwards. Like, how can we tell them not to do it, but it's okay that we do it?
Well,
like it just doesn't really add up at all. So I feel like we've always tried to, you know, live by that. Like, okay, if we're going to tell you you shouldn't talk this way, you shouldn't do this, then we're not going to do that either.
Yeah.
You know, we may slip up, but again, I think that comes, you know, with integrity. I don't know how many times I've had to apologize to the kids because I've lost my cool, and it's typically always when Aunt's out of town, and it's been actually this last.
You held it together.
I did. Yeah.
Well, the best I could tell.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't bad or anything. They were actually kept it together too. But you know, it seems like those breaking points always seem to come when I'm more stressed and the kids are stressed because they feed off of, which I feel like as they've gotten older, they do, which as bad as it sounds, but they do okay. They do better when. They handle it better when Dad is gone now than what they used to.
Yeah.
Because before, Aunt would leave town, and about 2 days in, Lizzie would be a bear. I mean, it took us a long time to figure it out. That's what was triggering her. And finally, it was like one day, I mean, I like really lost my cool. Like Abby called grandparents, but it's fine. We survived. And, but it dawned on me, I'm like, she only does this when you leave. Like, she would never dare to act this way or speak to me that way when you're gone. And so for my integrity, like I hate that if, you know, I respond back to them and like feed off of that, like we all just feed off of each other and yell at each other. And you know, but apologizing to them and being like, you know what, like I don't want you to look back and think this is how you should act or how you should treat your kids, because I'm supposed to be the adult. And sometimes I struggle with that. But, you know, is doing that and being, you know, honest with them of like, okay, you know, I lost my cool. Like, I should have stopped and been like, listen, what's really bothering you? Because this is not a normal behavior.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just a, you know,
yeah, and I mean, we know we're not going to be perfect. You know, I mean, we know that as a parent, as a friend, or whatever. But being able to have that conversation with them, to sit down and say, "Hey, listen, I realize I messed up."
Yeah.
Hopefully, that helps them when they have children to be like, when they mess up, because they're going to, that they're able to sit down with that child and be like, "Okay, here's what was going on my end. I should have done a better job. I'm the parent. I'm the adult. I should have done a better job, you know, to work through this. But I didn't, because I'm human and I messed up. I missed. Yeah. But let's figure it out. Let's fix it. Let's move forward, and you know, and let's do that. And that builds that trust that in that relationship, to where when anything else does happen, when something important, you know, comes along, or that next tough situation, that integrity in the relationship, that trust is there, and they're able to, you know, they're able to know that they have a person who is always there for them. And
one of the biggest, hardest things, whether it's parenting or in friendships, is being honest with them about their life and their lifestyle. Like, I think that's one of the hardest things, especially as adults. I feel like as teenagers, you're, like, or young, you might just, they're doing what they want, like, you're not bold enough to be like, hey, like, how is this leading you to Christ, or how are you leading other people to Christ by what you're doing? And so I know for me as an adult, like, that's one of the hardest things that I struggle with is in friendships, is like, if I know they're doing something stupid, or just
making bad choices,
to be like, hey, like, let's stop and think about this. Like, is that really, because it's so people get offended and you hurt people and they think you're judging them, and so you got to come at it like with a loving point of view but not a judging point of view, and it's hard.
That is a tough place, because when we see somebody we care about making decisions we know aren't biblical, then it truly is our job as Christians, and I fail at this, I'll be the first to admit it, but it is our job as fellow believers, or as believers, whether our friend is a believer or not, it's our job as a believer to, hopefully to lead them to the Lord, number one. And that in itself should take care of it, because then their priorities should be right. But if they're not a believer, you don't. It's people love to use the term "stop judging me" or "don't judge me" or all this kind of stuff. I hate that. I can't judge you. I'm not God. I'm not Jesus Christ. I can't judge you. I can tell you what the Bible says, that how God will judge you. I can't do anything. I don't sit on a seat. I ain't got a gavel. I can't sentence you to life or death. I got no power. I have no authority over you as another human being. So that whole "don't judge me," let's not judge each other, blah blah blah. I hate that. I hate that topic. It really, really bothers me.
Apparently,
it does. It really bothers me, because as human beings. Now, a judge put in that power in a courtroom, yes, they have some authority for this lifetime. The judging I'm talking about is eternally. I can't judge you. All I am is another person. We're equal. There's no difference between us. I'm just trying to help you see what the Bible says is the way to get to heaven.
Because a lot of times when they're making those choices, it's because their integrity's gone.
Yeah.
Like, they don't, it's just kind of like, well, it's fine. Like, I don't have to be, it's
already pushed aside.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's definitely not the focus anymore. And that's what you were saying. Within our friends and our friendships, as parents, that's a little bit easier, I think, with our children, because they look to us for that guidance, whether they want it or not. But they look to us, and we know that's our responsibility to them. Within our friend circle, it definitely becomes harder, because those are people that we are probably a similar age with. They may be younger, they may be older, but they're people that we have a lot of respect for, and that we love, and it's like you don't want to make this person mad to where they're not your friend anymore. But and I'm talking to myself a lot here. It's so much more important for us to care about their eternity than it is their short-term comfort, I guess. Yeah.
It's hard to see somebody make choices that is not biblically correct and not how God, it's just not in God's will. And so, it's hard to sit back and watch it, but at the same time, the Bible calls us to love them. So I just feel like you have to continue to love and keep being good examples, and just planting seeds.
Sometimes it's words, sometimes it's actions, sometimes it's both. Example, that God uses all of those, to bring people to Him. So
So I think that kind of wraps it up.
I think so. I'm gonna do the first one. Okay. It's shorter. Proverbs 20, verse 7. The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him. That's down there a little bit.
Down here.
Yeah, right there it is.
Okay, in 2 Corinthians 8:21, for we aim at what is honorable not only in the Lord's sight, but also in the sight of man. Okay, so that wraps up our month of integrity.
Yep.
Next week we'll be live. I don't know if we'll be at a rodeo or not, where we'll be.
Yeah,
it may be a little later. Don't know.
Yep, we're totally unsure.
But totally unsure at this point.
Next Sunday there will be a live from somewhere at some time.
Yep. So we hope you've enjoyed this. Let us know.
Yep.
Kind of what you thought about this, and we're excited to start our new topic.
Yep. See you then.